Wednesday the 14th, we have lower body, only one part, 5, 6, or 7 rounds. That is your choice. Curtsy lunges, single leg deadlifts, weighted narrow squats, and scissor kicks. Curtsy lunges. And of course you can add weight. Do I have it? Okay, per leg. So then you're gonna switch sides, or if you're like me, I usually like to do alternating because I just find it more fun, so I would count to 24. Single leg deadlifts. You can always hold on to something. Weighted narrow. And scissor kicks. Okay, curtsy lunges. So your curtsy lunge is a different variation of a lunge. So instead of stepping to the side or stepping front or back or whatever, you're going to step diagonal back. So you're gonna step diagonal back. Notice this foot is still pointing forward. This one is kind of diagonal forward. And I'm up on my toe. I'm gonna sink down, okay? So like you're doing a curtsy, return. So this is your curtsy lunge, okay? What I was saying before is I like to do alternating sides. I just like to do that. So I would count to 24 because I need to do 12 on each side. If you don't want to do that, you're just gonna stay with that one same leg, and then you can add weight or not, that's up to you. Single leg deadlift. So we talked about swings. We talked about straight leg deadlift. We talked about our hinge motion. So this is the same idea, except you're using one leg instead of two. So normally it might look like this, right? Butt goes back to the wall, your back folds just because you're hinging. Okay, now this is what it's gonna look like with one leg. So very similar. It's a little bit hard to do with running shoes on because they're like not very flat, but you can also hold on if you need to. So you just wanna make sure with this that you're not reaching, okay? It's very easy to reach because you're holding the weight and you're going down, and I think it's just because you're on one leg, like, and gravity's kind of pulling you down, it's easy to reach too far. So you wanna remember that you only really wanna go as far as your butt is moving. When your butt stops moving, you shouldn't continue to move down, okay? So my butt's moving backward, stops, which is right here. It's always mid-shin for me, and then I return. Push my butt back, it stops moving about here, return, okay? So you don't wanna go like this and just tip all the way to the ground. You don't need to do that, you don't wanna do that. Again, that one can be tricky, so obviously hold on if you need to. Things like wearing running shoes versus flat shoes will make a difference. Things like what surface you're on will make a difference. And if you just don't have very good balance, make sure you're holding on. Weighted narrow squats. So our narrow squat stance is just feet close together. They don't need to be touching. They just need to be less than. So if this is shoulder width, they need to be less than, okay? So however you wanna do it, I usually get pretty close. And then you're just gonna hold the weights on your side and you're just gonna squat down, okay? So when you do your narrow squat, your back is gonna fold more than it would with a normal squat. So my back is gonna come a little bit more forward than it normally does with a regular squat. That's fine, that's just the nature of your body mechanics. And you don't have to use weight if you don't want to. And then our last exercise is scissor kicks. So you're gonna get on your back. This is gonna work your legs and your abs. And you're going to just do big, wide kicks, okay? So open, but nothing ever touches the floor. Switch 2, switch 3, switch 4, switch 5. When I do these, I like to keep my head up off the ground. Don't put your chin on your chest, but keep your head off the ground. If you don't know how to keep your chin off your chest, just look up instead of forward. And that's gonna put tension on your upper abs, while the scissor kicking is gonna put tension on your lower abs. So if you take the head out of it, you're just gonna be working your lower. Okay, if you raise up where you get kind of that, your traps and your neck off of the ground, your very upper shoulders off of the ground, now you have tension right here. So whenever you have an exercise where you can possibly lift your head, that's what it's gonna do. It's gonna take It's gonna add a little bit tension to the top of your abs as well as the bottom, or you can just rest your head, rest your neck, and it's still gonna work. It doesn't matter, it's just a little bit added. That's your Wednesday the 14th.